Welcome, and thank you for joining us. Today, we're diving into something I think, well, most of us probably struggle with. The workday ends, you close the laptop, maybe you walk in the door, but your mind, still going, still thinking about that meeting, that email, what's on the line for tomorrow. It's just really hard to switch off, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That feeling of being mentally still on the clock,
Hmm.
even when you're physically done, it really eats into your evening, your ability to actually rest.
Yeah, it does. That kind of cognitive residue, that's a good way to put it. You feel tethered to work.
Exactly. And what's interesting in the stuff we looked at is that it's not just about willpower. Our brains, especially the planning parts, can genuinely get stuck in that high alert mode. The
Hmm.
shift to rest, it doesn't just happen. You kind of have to guide it.
Guide it, okay.
So our mission today is really to unpack some incredibly simple things, actual habits,
Hmm.
not huge life changes, just small rituals really to help let go of the day's tension, clear your head and, you know, properly relax.
And even just trying one might help.
Definitely. Even just one can start making a difference.
Okay. Because I think we've all been there, right? You're trying to make dinner, talk to your family, whatever. But mentally, you're still miles away, still crunching numbers or composing that perfect email reply in your head.
Mm-hmm. Your mind definitely didn't get the clocking off memo.
Yeah, exactly. And the material we looked at, it really talks about needing a kind of buffer, like a clear boundary between work time and personal time.
Precisely. Without that deliberate pause, that buffer zone, your brain just keeps spinning on the work stuff. These habits we're talking about, they act like signals, cues to your nervous system saying, okay, safe to power down now.
Powering down the fight or flight response.
Basically, yes.
Hmm.
Shifting from that stressed out work mode to the rest and digest mode, it's a physical shift, not just changing location.
Gotcha. And often, instead of creating that buffer, what do? We jump straight from the work screen to the phone screen.
Oh, yeah.
This first habit really hits home because it tackles that exact thing, that almost automatic reflex.
It's such a common trap.
Close the laptop, boom, phone's in hand. Scrolling social media, news, messages. It's just a different flood of information, right?
Exactly.
Mm.
And it keeps that part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, buzzing. It doesn't let it settle. It just continues the mental noise,
So it defeats the purpose of stopping work.
pretty much.
And
Which brings us straight to the first habit, the 20-minute digital detox.
Okay, 20 minutes.
Yep. Sounds simple, maybe even too simple, but it's powerful.
Yeah.
The idea is right after work, set a timer, 20 minutes, and during that time, the phone goes somewhere else. Another room ideally, or at least silent, face down, out of reach.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Kinda. The key is resisting that urge, that twitch, to check notifications. Just for 20 minutes. It's not just about less screen time. It's about intentionally breaking that link, that constant need for external input. It gives your nervous system that crucial window to just settle, to shift gear. Helps you be more present for whatever comes next.
It's amazing how strong that pull is, though, that magnetic force of the phone. What really stands out to you about how easily we fall into that trap?
It really is almost like a conditioned response, isn't it? The materials suggest acknowledging it as the first step. Then, yeah, create that physical barrier. Even just putting it face down, reducing that visual trigger can make a difference. It adds just enough friction to break the automatic habit.
Okay, that makes sense. Create friction. So stepping away from screens helps the mind, but what about the body? Because often after sitting all day or just being tense, you feel it physically, right? Shoulders up by your ears?
Definitely. The body holds on to that stress, which leads perfectly into the next habit. Gentle movement to release tension.
And we're not talking like run a marathon after work.
No, absolutely not. The research shows even gentle movement helps get rid of that built-up stress hormone, cortisol,
Yes.
trapped in our muscles. So moving, even gently, tells your brain the danger has passed, basically. It helps pave the way for calm.
Okay, so what kind of gentle movement?
Really accessible stuff. Simple stretches, neck rolls, shoulder shrugs, maybe reaching for your toes, focusing on those tight spots, or a slow, mindful 10-minute walk. And the key here, which the sources really stress, is no music, no podcasts.
Okay. Why?
Just you, noticing your surroundings, what you see, what you hear. It anchors you in the present, pulling you out of your work head.
Right, using your senses.
Exactly. Or even short, restorative yoga videos you can find online. Loads of free ones. When you connect it all, that physical release is a direct route to calming your mind.
That makes total sense. The body telling the mind it's okay to relax. But what if someone's just absolutely wiped out? Like even a 10-minute walk sounds like too much.
That's a really good point. The emphasis is on intention, not intensity. Consistency over duration. So even just 2 minutes of stretching by your desk or walking slowly around your living room, focusing on your breath, that counts.
Just break the pattern.
Exactly. Break that sedentary work pattern, however small. And speaking of signals, the next habit uses the power of, well, ritual, a clear sensory signal that work is done.
Ah, okay. This is create a transition ritual with a drink.
Precisely. And it's less about what you drink, more about the mindful act of making and having it.
The process itself.
Yes, the sensory cue is key. Think about, say, brewing a cup of herbal tea chamomile, peppermint, something calming, or maybe decaf coffee, or even just warm milk. The ritual is boiling the water, choosing your favorite mug, smelling the aroma, then sipping it slowly, intentionally.
Creating a clear boundary marker.
It's a symbolic off-ramp from the workday. It tells your brain, okay, this is the moment work ends. It seems small, but how can that small act change the whole feel of your evening? It's about that consistent psychological anchor.
It's funny how those little rituals can have such a big impact on our mindset.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about the racing mind itself? You know, you've technically stopped working, maybe you've had your tea.
But the thoughts are still going.
Yeah, tasks for tomorrow, things you forgot, worries, maybe even brilliant ideas you don't want to lose. That internal to-do list just keeps scrolling.
Right, preventing you from actually disengaging.
Yeah.
That's where the 5-minute brain dump comes in.
Okay, brain dump. Sounds cathartic.
It really can be. The thinking behind it relates to cognitive load. Your brain can only juggle so much active information. If you're trying to hold on to tomorrow's tasks and relax, it's overloaded.
Makes sense. So how does it work?
Super simple. Grab a notebook, a pen, set a timer for 5 minutes, and just write down everything that's buzzing around in your head. Tasks, worries, ideas, reminders, grocery items, anything. Get it out of your head and onto the paper.
Just empty it out.
Exactly. What's really fascinating is how this physically offloads your working memory. It literally reduces that mental juggling act.
Yeah.
It gives your brain permission to let go for the night, knowing it's all captured safely for tomorrow.
So it stops the thoughts swirling.
Yeah, it stops them swirling and interrupting your rest, hopefully leading to better sleep too.
I can definitely see how that would work. I've tried something similar, and it does feel like clearing the mental cache. But what if you write it down? And the worries, especially, just stick around. Any tips for that?
That's a crucial follow-up. The sources suggest a couple of things. First, if it's a specific task or worry, schedule a specific time tomorrow to deal with it. Write that time next to the item on your list.
Give it an appointment.
Right. Gives your brain a concrete plan. Second, for more general anxiety, maybe follow the brain bump with a really short mindfulness exercise, like just focusing on your breath for a minute or a quick body scan.
Okay. Externalize the thought, then calm the feeling.
Exactly. You observe the feeling rather than getting tangled up in it. So once we've hopefully calmed the nervous system, cleared the thoughts, the next idea is to actively redirect that mental energy.
Into something enjoyable, presumably.
Yeah, completely enjoyable. Which brings us to engage in a flow state hobby.
Ah, flow state. That feeling when you're totally absorbed in something.
Precisely. You lose track of time. You're not self-conscious. You're just fully in the activity. It's an amazing way to stop thinking about work because your brain literally doesn't have room for it.
So what kind of activities induce flow?
Well, the psychologist, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, who researched this a lot, found it varies. But the examples given are great. Things like playing an instrument, even if it's just for 15 minutes, or drawing, painting, knitting, maybe gardening. Cooking something new that requires real focus can work too.
Something that demands your attention.
Exactly. The key is it has to be something you enjoy, and it needs to be totally unrelated to your job. Challenging enough to keep you engaged, but not so hard. It's frustrating.
Right. It's about shifting from one type of mental effort work to a different kind, one that's purely for pleasure.
Totally redirecting that cognitive energy. So thinking about it for you, the listener, what's an activity that does that for you, that pulls you right out of your workday head?
For me, it's probably something creative like attempting a complicated recipe. All the measuring and timing, it just takes over.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
But, sometimes it's not just the mental state, but the physical environment that keeps you feeling at work, especially if you work from home.
Oh, definitely. A cluttered space can absolutely contribute to a cluttered mind, which ties nicely into our next habit. Reset your physical space.
Okay, tidying up.
Yeah, but with intention. The idea is simple. Our surroundings affect how we feel. Taking just a few minutes to tidy your main living area can have a surprisingly calming effect.
So what does that look like?
First, put away the work stuff. Laptop, notebooks, files, get them out of sight, put them in bag, drawer, another room.
Break the visual connection.
Exactly. Then just a quick tidy of the space where you plan to relax, fluff the cushions, fold the throw blanket, clear off the coffee table. These little actions create a sense of order, and they signal very clearly, work is over. This space is for relaxation now. It's a physical boundary marker.
That visual cue of putting the workday away literally sounds quite powerful. Okay, one last habit. This one feels classic, but with a twist. Read for pleasure, not for work. Reading's great escapism, but the type of reading matters here, right?
Absolutely critical distinction. The material really emphasizes choosing something with zero connection to your job or any kind of self-improvement related to work.
So no industry journals or business books.
Definitely not. Pick up a novel, lose yourself in a story, read a magazine about a hobby, a biography, a travel book, something about history or art, whatever genuinely interests you and lets your mind wander freely.
Just pure escapism.
Yes. And it doesn't have to be War and Peace. Even 10 or 15 pages can be enough to mentally transport you away from the day's stresses. It's about intentional redirection, consciously guiding your thoughts away from work mode and into a place of enjoyment and mental rest.
Okay, so pulling all these threads together then, as you, our listener, are maybe wrapping up your day or thinking about tomorrow, the main takeaway seems to be creating that vital buffer. These habits, they're tools to build that boundary between work and rest. They're deliberate acts, really, ways to give yourself the gift of genuine downtime so your brain can actually recharge. And like you said at the start, you don't need to do all 7 tomorrow. Maybe just pick one that resonates.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Start small. See how just one small ritual feels. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Think about how building these small transitions, these conscious shifts, doesn't just help you relax better in the evening. That deeper rest, that clearer mind you get from truly switching off. It can actually boost your focus and productivity when you do start work again the next day.
So it's a virtuous cycle. Resting better helps you work better.
It really is. It's
Yeah.
a gift that keeps on giving, impacting your well-being way beyond just making your evenings nicer.
Well, we hope this discussion gives you some ideas for crafting your own peaceful transitions, helping you to truly switch off. Until next time, find that perfect ritual for you.